blasting up. It wasn't on the street proper. It looked like it was on the sidewalk or perhaps the parking lot. And I would say the smoke went up about as high as a 3- or 4-story building. About 10 seconds later, after everyone was wondering what that was, about 20 yards from me, across the street, another big explosion. It looked like it came out of the sidewalk or something under their sidewalk or in the sidewalk. I'm not entirely sure. And then that's when just people started scrambling, and there's a lot of pushing and shoving. People were terrified, wondering if there was going to be a third explosion, because this one was awfully close. And only after the dust settled did I look and see about 6, 7 people sort of strewn about that area where that second explosion was, down on the ground. Everyone's sort of scrambling to get out of the way, scrambling into buildings, scrambling off of Boylston onto side streets. And I was able to get another vantage point. I saw what looked like a separate 6 or 7 people strewn about on Boylston Avenue itself, being treated by EMTs or police officers.
Matt, we've seen photographs from the scene of streaks of blood on Boylston Street. What did you see in terms of injuries of those who were injured? We're now told by Massachusetts General Hospital that 19 people were hurt in these blasts. That's the latest information. What were you able to see in terms of how injured people were?
It was really hard to tell. What you saw was a big explosion, and then everyone was sort of scrambling to get away from that. When I was able to actually on the scene, what I saw more was...
Matt, I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second. I'm sorry. Boston police are telling CNN that 2 dead are as a result of the Massachusetts attack, the whatever happened at the end of the Boston Marathon. 2 individuals are dead. 22 are wounded. That's from Boston police. That's the latest information we have about this attack. If you are tuning in right now, there were 2 explosions at in the final mile of the Boston Marathon just over an hour ago. There were multiple injuries. Police report 2 explosions. We do not know yet the source of the explosions, but we are told by police that 2 individuals are dead. We're on the phone now with CNN executive producer Matt Frucci, who actually was there and a witness to at least one of the explosions. Matt, the scene must have been complete pandemonium, people just running for their lives, I would think.
It was exactly that. I mean, when it first occurred, I sort of got shoved in along with a bunch of other people into the building directly behind us. But then there were a lot of people inside who started to freak out that maybe this building was a target, or maybe this building would be something that would be exploded. So people started working their way back out onto the sidewalk to get off the street entirely. But people were terrified. It was just one of those mad scrambles that I've always reported on, but never had a unfortunate moment of being stuck in myself.
All right, we are going to go to an eyewitness who is on the phone now, Will Ritter. He was an eyewitness to the blast. Will, thanks for joining us. What did you see?
Thanks for having me. I was a block away, a kitty corner across Copley Square. I was trying to arrange a press conference for a candidate that I work for that was just finished running. And we heard 2 short bursts, about as loud as, the big concussion burst at the end of a fireworks show, about a second apart from one another. Looked towards Boston Public Library, which is the finish line for the Boston Marathon, and saw billowy white smoke come up. Cops started jumping the bike rack and running towards the scene, and then a lot of emergency vehicles and just a general pandemonium.
And what did you see in terms of injuries, if anything, and describe for us the scene when you say general pandemonium? Were people running away from the blasts? Were law enforcement or National Guardsmen running to the blast? We're told that there were 400 National